Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamo Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiret Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naitiki. Hare Krishna. Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 2nd chapter 4, the process of creation, shloka number 20. Śrīyapati Yajña-pati Prajapati
Śrīyapati Yajña-pati Prajapati
Dhiyāmpati Lokapati Dharapati
Dhiyāpati Lokapati Dharapati
Pati Gati cha Andhakavrishni Satvatam
Pati Gati cha Andhakavrishni Satvatam
Prasidhata me Bhagavan Satam Pati
Prasidhata me Bhagavan Satam Pati
Śrīyapati Yajña-pati Prajapati
Śrīyapati Yajña-pati Prajapati
Dhiyāmpati Lokapati Dharapati
Dhiyāmpati Lokapati Dharapati
Pati Gati cha Andhakavrishni Satvatam
Patihi gatihi cha andhakavrishni satvatam
Prasidhata me Bhagavan Satam Pati
prasidhatam me Bhagavan satam patihi
Śrīyapati Yajña-pati Prajapati
Śrīyapatihi Yajña-patihi Prajapatihi
Dhiyāmpati Lokapati Dharapati
Dhiyāmpatihi Lokapatihi Dharapatihi
Pati Gati cha Andhakavrishni Satvatam
Patihi gatihi cha andhakavrishni satvatam
Prasidhata me Bhagavan Satam Pati.
prasidhatam me Bhagavan satam patihi.
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Many Lord Sri Krishna, who is the worshipable Lord of all devotees, the protector and glory of all the kings like Andak and Vrishni of the Yadu dynasty, the husband of all goddesses of fortune, the director of all sacrifices, and therefore the leader of all living entities, the controller of all intelligence, the proprietor of all planets, spiritual and material, and the supreme incarnation on the earth, the supreme all in all. Be merciful upon me. Since Śukadeva Gosvāmī is one of the prominent gata-vyalīka Valika, who are freed from all misconception. He therefore expresses his own realized perception of Lord Sri Krishna as being the sum total of all perfection, the personality of Godhead. Everyone is seeking the favor of goddess of fortune, but people do not know that Lord Sri Krishna is the beloved husband of all goddesses of fortune. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that the Lord is Lord. In his transcendental abode of Golok Vrindavan, is accustomed to herding the Surbhi cows and he served them there by hundreds of thousands of goddesses of fortune. All these goddesses of fortune are manifestations of his transcendental pleasure potency, hlādinī-śakti, in his internal energy. And when the Lord manifested himself on this earth, he partially displayed the activities of his pleasure potency in his rasa-līlā, just to attract the conditioned souls who are all after phantasmagoria, pleasure potency in degraded sex enjoyment. The pure duties of the Lord, like Śukadeva Gosvāmī, who was completely detached from the abominable sex life of material world, discussed this act of the Lord's pleasure potency certainly not in relation to sex but to relish or transcendental taste inconceivable to the mundaners who are after the sex life. Sex life in mundane world is root cause of being conditioned by shackles of illusion. Certainly, Śukadeva Gosvāmī was never interested in sex life of mundane world, nor does manifestation of Lord's pleasure potency have any connection with such degraded thing. Lord Chaitanya was a strict sannyasi, so much so that he did not allow any woman to come near him, not even to bow down and offer respect. He never even heard prayers of Devadasis offered in the temple of Jagannath because a sannyasi is forbidden to hear songs sung by the fair sex. Yet, even in rigid position of a sannyasi, he recommended the mode of worship preferred by gopis of Vrindavan as topmost loving service possible to be rendered to the Lord. And Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī is the principal head of all such goddesses of fortune, and therefore she is the pleasure counterpart of the Lord and is non-different from Krishna. In the Vedic ritual, there are recommendations for performing different types of sacrifices in order to achieve the greatest benefit in life. Such benediction as the results of performing great sacrifices are, after all, favors given by the goddess of fortune, and the Lord, being the husband or lover of the goddess of fortune, is factually the Lord of all sacrifices also. He is final enjoyer of all kinds of yajnas. Therefore, Yajña-pati is another name of Lord Vishnu. It is recommended in Bhagavad Gita that everything be done for the Yajña-pati, Yajnarthat Karmana. For otherwise, one's acts will be the cause of conditioning by the law of material nature. Those who are not freed from all misconception, Valikam, perform sacrifices to please the minor demigods, but the devotees of Lord know very well that Lord Sri Krishna is supreme enjoyer of all performances of sacrifices. Therefore, they perform the Sankirtan Yajna, Shronam Kirtanam Vishnu, which is specially recommended in this age of Kali. In Kali Yuga, performance of other types of sacrifice is not feasible due to insufficient arrangement and inexpert priesthood. We have information from the Bhagavad Gita 3.10 and 11 that Lord Brahma, after giving report to conditioned souls within the universe, instructed them to perform sacrifices and to lead a prosperous life. With such sacrificial performance, the conditioned souls will never be in difficulty in keeping body and soul together. Ultimately, they can purify their existence. They will find natural promotion into spiritual existence, the real entity of living entity. The conditioned soul should never give up the practice of sacrifice, charity, and austerity in any circumstances. The aim of all such sacrifices is to please the Yajña-pati, the personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Lord is also Prajapati, according to the Kathopanishad. The one Lord is the leader of the innumerable living entities. The living entities are maintained by the Lord. Eko bahunam yavidadatu kaman. The Lord is therefore called the Supreme Bruta or maintainer of all living beings. Living beings are proportionally endowed with intelligence in terms of their previous activities. All living beings are not equally endowed with the same quality of intelligence because behind such development of intelligence is the control of the Lord. As declared in Srimad Bhagavad Gita 15.15, as Paramatma Super Soul, the Lord is living in everyone's heart, and from him only does one's power of remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness follow. Matta Smriti Jnanam Apanam Cha. One person can sharply remember past activities by the grace of the Lord, while others cannot. One is highly intelligent by the grace of the Lord, and one is a fool by the same control. Therefore, the Lord is Dhyampati, or the Lord of intelligence. The conditioned souls strive to become lords of the material world. Everyone is trying to lord it over material energy by applying his highest degree of intelligence. This misuse of intelligence by conditioned soul is called madness. One's full intelligence should be applied to get free from material clutches, but conditioned soul, due to madness only, he engages his full energy and intelligence in sense gratification, and to achieve this end of life, he will fully commits all sorts of misdeeds. The result is that instead of attaining an unconditional life of full freedom, the mad conditioned soul is entangled again and again in different types of bondage in material bodies. Everything we see in material manifestation is but creation of the Lord. Therefore, He is real proprietor of everything in universe. The conditioned soul can enjoy a fragment of this material creation under control of Lord, but not self-sufficiently. That is instruction in Upanishad. One should be satisfied with things awarded by Lord of universe. It is out of madness only that one tries to encroach upon another's share of material possession. Lord of the universe, out of his causeless mercy upon conditioned souls, descended by his own energy, Atma Maya, to re-establish eternal relation of conditioned soul with him. He instructed all to surrender unto him instead of falsely claiming to be enjoyers for a certain limit under his control. When he so descends, he proves how much greater is his ability to enjoy. He exhibits his power of enjoyment by, for instance, marrying 16,000 wives at one. The conditioned soul is very proud of becoming husband of even one wife, and the Lord laughs at this. The intelligent man can know who is real husband. Factually, the Lord is the husband of all women. In his what happened? But a conditioned soul under the control of the Lord feels proud to be husband of one or two wives. All these qualifications as different types of pati mentioned in this verse are meant for Lord Sri Krishna. Śukadeva Gosvāmī has therefore specially mentioned the pati and gati of the Yadu dynasty. The members of the Yadu dynasty knew that Lord Sri Krishna is everything, and all of them intended to return to Lord Krishna after he had finished his transcendental pastimes on the earth. The Yadu dynasty was annihilated by the will of the Lord because its member had to return home with the Lord. The annihilation of the Yadu dynasty was material show created by the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, the Lord, the members of the Yadu dynasty are all eternal associates. The Lord is therefore the guide of all devotees, and as such, Shukadeva Goswami offered him due respect with love-laden feelings. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देश तारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा. We try to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 4th, the process of uh, creation. We try to understand Shloka number 20. Here they are giving everything is everything which is manifested uh, in this Brahmanda. All are Swami was the only supreme person, supreme personality of Godhead. Uh, Here they describing about Śrīyapati, Yajña-pati, Prajapati, Dhyapati, Lokapati, Dharapati, uh, like this, they giving all in detail in this shloka. And again, they describe about uh, the uh, causeless mercy upon the conditioned souls, uh, due by the Lord of the universe by his own energy when they descend in this manifestation, Atmamaya. That is called Atmamaya. Unlike so many points they are discussing, and Shukadeva Goswami offered him due to respect with love laden feeling. Prabhuji will tell us in nicely. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, a very wonderful chapter, a very wonderful shloka, something which is going to open up our complete, what I'll say, view and change how we look at Krishna completely. So, what we are talking about is Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and this is what Shukadeva Goswami ji is saying. Shukadeva Goswami ji is gata-vyalīka. Gata-vyalīka means one who is free from all misconceptions. So, here he is presenting Krishna as sum total of all perfections, the ultimate object of worship for devotees, husband of goddess of fortune, controller of intelligence, master of all yajñas, Yajña-pati, and proprietor of all creation. Now you all have accepted Krishna as everything. Right from Canto 1, we have been listening to this. So this Bhagavatam itself is basically a discussion which has been happening. So when this discussion started, we need to understand that Bhagavatam is a Amala Purana. And one of the questions, out of the 6 questions which was asked to Sud Goswami ji by the sages in Naimisharanya was, now that Krishna has gone, where are religious principles taking shelter? Because when Krishna, if Krishna is all this that we are seeing in today's shloka, then definitely it means dharma is there, because dharma is sakshat bhagavat pranitam. So in absence of Krishna, it is Bhagavata. So the question was, where will religious principles be found now that he is gone and Kali Yuga has begun? And the response is this. Now when sun sets, maybe on the western horizon, the moon rises on the eastern horizon. Sun is giving light. Similarly, moon is also giving light. In fact, moon is better because the sun rays at times are scorching, but the moonlight is always cool. So it is explained that just when Krishna left, like the sun, Bhagavat has come up as the moon. It is as brilliant as the sun. And in fact, it is much better. It is the Grantha Avatar of Krishna. Personification of, literally form of Krishna. So it is so wonderful that Krishna has appeared for our benefit. And we are all taking shelter of Krishna in this literally feature, which is so accessible. We just have to open up our mobiles and open the Veda base, or maybe stretch the hand a little and take out the Bhagavatam. Of course, respect has been shown. Otherwise, our consciousness will be dull and will not be able to properly receive the message. But in receptive mode, we can understand everything perfectly. And these 2 cantos especially, they are the lotus feet of Krishna. So we need to approach God with humility. And that is something which is emphasized when we understand that Krishna is the master of everything. So though Krishna is easily accessible, we need to understand importance of humility and purity. Now, these answers are coming after questions by Parikshit Maharaj to Shukdev that facing imminent death, the question was, what is the duty of a person about to die? And what should always be heard and remembered? And Shukadeva Gosvāmī ji is answering, detachment from word, exclusive devotion to Krishna. So exclusivity can come when we understand that there is nothing better than what we are talking about. And that is why all these descriptions in this today's shloka is the ultimate object of our worship, is the sum total of perfections. In fact, he is the Lord of the goddess of fortune. People generally seek Lakṣmī-devi's blessings, not realizing that Krishna is her eternal consort. Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī is the principal goddess of fortune, and Krishna's internal pleasure potency, hlādinī-śakti. The transcendental pleasure potency is something we should be very, very careful to understand, and that is why it is said we should never go to the 10th canto unless you have finished the 9 cantos. Krishna's rasa-līlā is a display of his divine pleasure potency, which represents transcendental love, not mundane lust. It is meant to attract conditioned souls towards spiritual bliss. And that is why it is important. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a perfect example. A strict sannyasi who avoided contact with women, but he still glorified Gopi's devotion as the highest form of loving service, underscoring the spiritual nature of Krishna's relationship. This shows that true love for Krishna is beyond bodily designations, driven by spiritual intimacy. And Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer, Yajña-pati. All Vedic yajñas ultimately benefit from favor of goddess of fortune, but Krishna, as her Lord, is the true enjoyer of all sacrifices. Thus, all sacrifices, rituals, they're ultimately for pleasure of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. Sacrifices aimed at demigods are performed by those not free from illusion. In Kali Yuga, the recommended sacrifice is Sankirtan Yajna, chanting and hearing the glories of Krishna. Krishna, who is the Lord of intelligence, the Yajña-pati. Everyone's intelligence is controlled by Krishna. As Paramatma, he gives remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness. As mentioned by him in Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Sarvasya cha hamridi sannivishta matta smriti dhyanam apohanam cha Vedaya cha sarverahameva vedya Vedanta krutveda vedeva cha. The differences in intelligence among beings is due to his will and past karma of the living being. And that is the result of that difference in intelligence that some still continue to try to have false enjoyment in material world. Everything in universe is Krishna's creation and property. Conditioned souls in madness wrongly try to become lords of material nature using intelligence for sense enjoyment. And this leads to bondage, not freedom. Only when one uses intelligence to serve Lord can real liberation begin. Because Krishna is the real proprietor, which is a teaching of Ishopanishad. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Everything belongs to Krishna. One should accept only that what is allotted as his quota and not even covet others' possession. Material greed leads to conflict and suffering. So the true satisfaction comes from accepting only that what is allocated. has taught in each Upanishad. But we still prefer the illusion of material enjoyment. Conditioned souls feel proud to possess or enjoy even unlimited things like spouses also, property also, forgetting that everything, women, wealth, intelligence belongs to Krishna. He is the supreme enjoyer. He demonstrated the position by marrying over 16,000 kings, showing his divine opulence. So Krishna should be considered as the guide of devotees. Krishna personally guides the devotees. Even if you have the doubt why the destruction of Yadu dynasty, you need to understand that it was a divine arrangement for the return of all his associates to the spiritual world. So we need to accept Krishna as the sum total of all perfection. And then only we can get in a position of eternal servitude. One of the questions which generally comes up is why Madhurya Rasa is perfect or highest. Though all rasas are perfect, Madhurya is fullest because it includes the sweetness of all other rasas. So it's like small and large cups both being full, but the larger cup holds more nectar. So the conclusion, this verse highlights the supreme position of Krishna as the ultimate enjoyer, real proprietor, loving guide of all souls. We need to understand him as the path of pure devotion, free from conceptions, understanding our position as his servants, and cultivating devotion with detachment from false material enjoyment is the path to spiritual liberation and eternal bliss. So, let us try to accept wholeheartedly that true spiritual advancement comes from exclusive surrender to Krishna. And for that, today's shloka helps us to recognize him as the source, proprietor, enjoyer of everything. Hare Krishna. Thank